basketball club is the first Unrivaled champion.
Angel Reese just delivered a masterclass, clinching a championship without even breaking a sweat. While she struck a pose with the trophy like she just revolutionized the WNBA, the viewership numbers were out here whispering for attention. Seriously, did anyone even tune in? Meanwhile, her fanbase is acting like she's the second coming of women's basketball. Let's be real, the league is still finding its footing, so how does she dominate on the court but still take an L where it really counts? Oh, and by the way, sis, I'm doing just fine. Just pulled in 50K mid-flight. I know you're keeping tabs, so here's a fun fact. I'm still on a rookie contract. That 50K. Yeah, it's a little over half my salary. Let's keep that between us.
Rivaled ratings video. The playoffs are finished. The championship game has concluded. The numbers are in. After debuting with 313,000 viewers, Games 1, Games 2, on opening night, after having ratings for the 1v1 tournament, semifinals, and final, averaging 377,000 viewers, the Unrivaled championship game ratings comes in at a staggering 260,000 views.
Chicago Sky's Rose just secured the first ever undisputed championship. Groundbreaking, right? A moment so historic, it probably falls somewhere between a participation trophy and showing up on time. The way some people are hyping it up, you'd think she solved world hunger instead of conquering a league that's barely more intense than a 3-on-3 pickup game. But hey, let's all give it up for the self-proclaimed queen of dominance.
The Roses made history and just became 50K richer, you feel me? Because they just won the Unrivaled League first ever championship, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all. If y'all missed this Unrivaled season, yo, you missed one hell of a good one and a competitive one. And shout out to Chelsea Gray, yo, for winning the Finals MVP.
As if trophies weren't already being handed out like Oprah in her prime. You get an award. You get an award. Everybody gets an award. Somehow, Angel Reese strolls her way into the Defensive Player of the Year title. Defensive excellence, please. More like a masterclass in exaggerated arm flailing and side-eyeing after every routine rebound. But hey, don't even think about questioning it, because the stats say she's a defensive powerhouse, and stats are never misleading, right? It's not like she has one of the most aggressive PR machines out there, working overtime to sell the idea that she's the next Dennis Rodman. Totally organic, of course. Pure talent and hustle. No outside influence at all.
Today, as we stand, one Angel Reese has been named the Defensive Player of the Year. Stab us all right in the eye hole, right? Oh my goodness. Oh, her fans, they're trying to take victory laps today over this, except a lot of people, a lot of hoops fans, real basketball fans are calling this for what it is. It's a sham. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Let's talk about this so-called Unrivaled League. Oh, it's unrivaled. All right. Unrivaled in the sense that no one else even cares enough to compete. The real flex. Dominating a tournament where half the legitimate contenders didn't even bother showing up. That's like hitting a free throw in an empty gym and calling yourself the GOAT. But hey, when there's a brand to build, you take your trophies however they come. And now, we're supposed to rally behind a championship win that feels about as authentic as a Hollywood nepotism baby landing a blockbuster role. Yet, all season long, players, coaches, fans, and the media are expected to treat it like the second coming of greatness. Bow down, no questions asked. Then there's the Defensive Player of the Year award. Oh, what a celebration of grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Or, more accurately, a masterclass in swiping at the ball and mean-mugging opponents like they owe her money. But dare to suggest, just hint, that maybe, just maybe, someone else was more deserving. Get ready, because now you're not just a critic, you're a hater. Or worse, someone who doesn't respect women's basketball, because apparently, questioning greatness, yeah, that's a crime now.
All season long. But I want every person in here, from the players to the coaches, to the fans, to the media, to really take a second to soak in this moment. This is history.
Let's not overlook the real magic trick happening here, turning routine basketball plays into front-page spectacles. The commitment to crafting a legend in real time is honestly a work of art. Every block, every rebound, every flex gets magnified, analyzed, and repackaged as a so-called career-defining moment. Meanwhile, actual all-time greats are just out here hooping, no media circus required every time they lace up. So brace yourself for the next wave of over-the-top celebrations. A parade, a statue, maybe renaming the entire city of Chicago in her honor. At this rate, we're about 2 weeks away from someone declaring her the greatest athlete of all time. But hey, since we're dishing out accolades just for showing up, let's make it official. Somebody call the Hall of Fame. It's Angel Reese's world, and the rest of us. We're just background characters, whether we like it or not.
They lost to Lunar House comfortably. Beat the Laces in a close one. They lost to the Mist. The Mist were trying towards the end. They beat the Phantom. In a lot of close games, they played really well. And they played really, really well after the break.
Angel Reese's wrist had seen enough and decided to clock out, right as her team proved they could win just fine without her. You can't script this any better. While she sat courtside, nursing the same wrist that already got the VIP treatment in surgery, Rose BC casually went out and secured the undisputed championship like it was just another routine shift. No drama, no theatrics, just pure basketball. Let's be honest, if Angel had been on the court, this would have turned into yet another episode of the Angel Reese Show, where the actual game plays second fiddle to her exaggerated reactions and questionable shot selection. But instead, without her, the team looked sharper. They passed, they defended, they won, and they did it all while their so-called superstar sat in street clothes, probably drafting her next batch of overly inspirational and wildly unnecessary social media posts. But don't worry, she'll be back soon, likely with a fresh injury excuse or a new conspiracy theory about how the universe is somehow out to get her. Meanwhile, her team, they'll just keep proving they don't actually need her. Tough break, literally.
I don't know how they even decided the Defensive Player of the Year, because I had a few players that I had in mind that could have won this award. But to say that Angel Reese wasn't playing good defense and didn't deserve this award, that would be a lie, man. Because throughout the season, she had moments where not only did she lock up the best bigs or play great defense on the best big, she also stole the ball from some of the best.
The ratings are in, and wow, what an absolute disaster. Turns out this Unrivaled league is about as exciting as watching paint dry. Fans? Nowhere in sight. Viewers? Barely registering. But don't worry, Angel Reese is still talking. Yep, while the league is gasping for relevance, scrambling to get anyone to care, Angel is out here running her mouth like she just won the MVP of Twitter engagement. Maybe, just maybe, if she spent less time turning every game into a personal soap opera and more time actually hooping, things might look a little different. But nah, that would be too simple. Instead, she's mastered the art of doing the absolute least on the court while doing the absolute most off of it. Meanwhile, the league is practically begging people to tune in, handing out promos like grocery store free samples. Yet still, nothing but crickets. It's almost impressive. Imagine being the loudest voice in the room while the whole house is burning down. But don't worry, Angel will have a deep and insightful excuse for why none of this is her fault. Maybe it's the refs, maybe it's the haters, or maybe, just maybe, people are finally realizing that all the noise doesn't equal greatness. Here's your reality check.
Be the first thing. And by the way, we're doing victory laps today. Angel Reese fans are celebrating a championship that she didn't even take part in the playoffs for. Are you serious right now? I would argue the team got better and won it because she didn't play. This should be frightening to Chicago Sky fans.
Lost. What a time to be alive. The Unrivaled League just wrapped up, and, shockingly, nobody cared. Turns out, slapping a flashy name on something and calling it a game changer doesn't magically make people tune in. Who could have seen that coming? Ratings nosedived, interest vanished, and somewhere in a boardroom, executives are probably staring at spreadsheets, wondering how their groundbreaking product flopped harder than a failed reality show. But don't worry, while the league was out here struggling to keep even 24 people engaged, Angel Reese was still making noise, as if sheer volume alone could win championships. Yep, the same Angel Reese who was nowhere near the MVP podium, nowhere near the final spotlight, yet somehow always center stage when it's time to stir things up. She could use this moment to reflect, to regroup, maybe even step back. But why do that when she can hop online and remind the world that she is the storyline, even as the actual sport collapses behind her?
Here's the caveat, folks. TNT, they come out with their own graphic. And their own graphic boasts of a 364,000 average viewer for the finals. 385,000 peak viewership for the Unrivaled finals. We'll touch on those other numbers later. But up 99% from the regular season, 364,000 average. Folks, if we look at the Unrivaled playoffs, Laces versus Rose, that was broken down to both TNT ratings and True TV ratings. Yet for the championship game, somewhere in transition, somewhere along the pecking order, I guess the True TV ratings got lost.
Folks, it's over. Or it's close to it. If it's not over, it's close to it. I'm at that point where I think we are at a point of no return. I think we have hit a level where there are problems and they are starting to punch you right in the face. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Unrivaled television ratings from Friday night, their best night, and they are bad. They just keep getting worse.